Cause I was telling kids before, cause that's where this actually started from. I was playing in the league, and he like, yeah, we're gonna sell y'all jerseys and woo woo, and I'm like, how much we get off of that?
We're gonna talk about that. Let's talk about that.
I'm like, how much I get off of that? And he was like, you don't get nothing. I was like, but I know I watch sports, so I gotta have my own fans somewhere.
Yeah.
So if the kids want to support me, don't buy that jersey, buy this. Right. This is me.
It's finally happened. We here. Trent's Life Podcast. I guess, what is this? Maybe, I want to say, because it's to my knowledge, the first podcast for linemen, right, Coach?
There's a few on Instagram where linemen talk, but I don't think it's fully dedicated. But there are now spaces, though. But I can't think of any.
I'm grateful to allow this space that we have now.
Yeah, for our nice in here.
You know what I'm saying? Urban Fate, you know what I'm saying? One of our new sponsors for Trent's Life. And glad, go ahead and introduce yourself, man. We're gonna work on the intros and all that. I'm just excited to get this thing started, man. But go ahead and introduce yourself, Coach.
All right, well, my name is Keith Barbee. I am the offensive line coach at Orchard Lake St. Mary's, and I own Hogs Gone Wild Offensive Line Academy.
Okay, nice. And how long has it been birthed?
2016 it got repurposed. In 2014, I was playing in the football league. Okay. And he was talking about selling jerseys, and there was no revenue in it for me. Okay. So I came up with something that if it took off, my fans could support me directly. Okay. And that's how I came up with Hogs Gone Wild. It was originally supposed to be apparel. Okay. But in 2016, I took a trip to Arizona, and that trip helped me repurpose the name and switch to what it currently is now.
It's something about Arizona. You ain't the only person that told me they go out to Arizona to free their mind, man. I gotta go try that, man.
Well, I went out there for a seminar. A former NFL player by the name of Charles Bentley has a facility out there, and I have been watching his videos on YouTube. And so I was kind of interested in the science that he was using. So finally in 2016, he opened his doors. Yeah. And when he did that, I went. Yeah. And it just so happened that same league I was in, I got hurt. And that was in like 2014. I fractured my ankle. But from that journey led me to going in the weight room for real. Yeah. That was the one thing that, throughout my career I could have did better at. But I almost lost the ability to walk. And so I put myself back together. Like I picked up my phone, I read the books, I did all of that. So when I went out there to hear him, I understood everything he was saying. And I was like, oh, I got to do something with this. And so I already had the name and the business was already incorporated. So I just started training.
That's it, man. So with you training and everything now, how does that feel to still be, of course, that transition from playing to being a regular civilian in the work field to still pursuing your dream and staying close to your true love? Like, can you tell the student athletes out there and as well the parents of that transition of becoming a student athlete into an entrepreneur?
The transition out of the game was kind of tough. Yeah. I didn't get to lead the game on my own terms like most people.
Absolutely.
So it was kind of rough, but luckily I had a soft cushion because I came home and I was able to play some semi-pro. And throughout, just like over the course of the years, getting older, body starting to hurt. I don't train like I did, and so it's like, okay, well, you're starting to hurt a little bit too long. Yeah. So, it might be time to hang it up. Mentally, though, I haven't lost it. Yeah. And I don't think that'll ever go away.
Of course not.
So then it was like, okay, well, I still want to be involved with the game. I'm not done with the game, But what can I do now? Prior to going to college, I coached. Coming out of high school, I sat out for it. I didn't do nothing for a year. And then my second year out, I was like 19.
Okay.
I started coaching. And did that until, that was like 2003 till 2008. And I went back to college late.
Okay.
So in doing that, I think that kind of helped that particular part of the journey. So let's see, where was I? I got lost.
You 2000. You at
2008.
2008. You went back to college. Yeah.
Once that ended, that was in 2010.
Okay.
Me and my coaches had a falling out, and it was just like a free for all. That first year or so, it was just like a free for all. Depression.
That was a big toll on your mental. Yeah.
Yeah, depression, all of that, and it didn't help that the next year I'm watching the draft. And I'm watching dudes that I played against, like
played with, went to camps with.
Yep. And so that lasted a couple years, and then that's when I was still playing semi-pro at that time. So it was helping me, but I still had that with me.
Okay.
But once it was like, okay, in coaching, I started to get more responsibility because I've actually been a coordinator before.
Okay.
And that's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work outside of the head coach. Whew.
Never want to go back to
Never
that.
do that again.
I say that now, but who knows how that's going to change.
Somebody go see that they go offer you a job. Like, you want that to do that?
I understand, like, wearing the headsets and you got all the position coaches. Hey, coach, run this, run that. And so...
Ooh, I can't. Oh, do not miss the headset, dog. Oh, man.
And so along that journey, eventually it was like, hey, man, you got to get used to this life.
Yeah,
somehow,
for sure.
some way.
It's part of your lifestyle.
And so I started working on my mental health little by little.
That's great.
And then in 2016, my daughter was born. And I don't know what happened then, but...
So first love, first true love.
Everything changed.
Won't he do it?
I did play like a season or two. I played till she was old enough to remember me playing.
And that was it.
And then that was after
Karma
that.
clicks up.
And then after that, I don't know what it was, but it was just like.
You woke up one morning like, all right, I'm done.
Actually, the crazy thing is I didn't have those problems until COVID. And I didn't get inactive.
We gonna blame it on the air quality, bro.
I lived through something, but yeah.
Yeah, man, that's what's up. And so when as you went through that progression of your mental health and everything, a lot of people that deal with that are afraid to admit that they had those problems, issues. But it's great to talk to somebody about those problems, issues. Even if it's just a player, one of your old teammates, an old coach.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Call it, if you're feeling that type of way, talk to somebody. Because you ain't the only one that feel like that.
And at first, it was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But I just picked up my phone, honestly.
That's it, bro.
And it's like, okay, I have a problem, but I don't have an answer. But this got to have an answer. And I just started there. And so... Going over those transitions, like when my daughter was born, I was the offensive coordinator, and I knew that would be too time consuming.
Oh yeah.
So it was like, okay, well at this point, football has to be something different for me now. Before I was, kind of the bachelor kind of coach kind of deal. Like I don't have to. I can football all day, every day.
Train you this time before practice.
You know what I mean? Like that football coaching
all
match.
Day,
like
every day.
Football, balls to the wall.
Yes,
but
sir.
then it's like, okay, well, now how can I create this space? Because she's gonna have plays.
Yeah.
She's gonna have games. She's
gonna
have
daddy,
all these
man.
things that I want to be a part of. And so that's where it was like, well, what do you know?
Right.
I know how to play the game.
Yeah.
Training. And so then it was like, okay, well, now this is where training got to become the more of a focal point.
Yeah.
I love coaching. It's nothing like Friday nights.
Nothing like it.
But it's definitely a difference from coaching to training. But for where I am, it gives me the best opportunity to put myself in position to be better for my daughter.
There it is, man.
And that's where the final part of the transition kind of was like, okay, it was kind of like an ATL at the end where T.I. like, my daddy always told me I put them skates on.
That poem at the end of the movie.
It was kind of that kind of deal.
Yeah, man.
And so now it's just about like balancing, like still coaching and training, and
that work-life balance,
that family.
Yeah,
work is
work. Work always gonna be.
We're not fortunate enough to be 100% entrepreneur yet, so
I understand.
That
bro.
block is in there.
Listen there.
Making sure that the rest of it is, balance it's gotten a lot better.
Right. Okay. So sorry to cut you off, man, but you're talking about back to the mental health because it's very big as a football player because football is all mental for the most part. You can't be physical, but it's mental. You gotta, especially in the trenches, dog. You gotta like, man, this is the third defensive end on me, dog. Man, he's a different speed, different technique. I got anchor different. I got to step inside a little bit more. You know what I'm saying?
So that hard to move nose that you just been.
Come on, man. Then they'll come with someone that's a second string that wants to start in position, and you like, I'm tired, coach. Let me. And you can't tap out. That's one position, and there's one position on the football field that offensive linemen cannot tap out.
But you know what though? Like you mentioned, like seeing the different guys. One thing I tell my guys is if you haven't seen the third or fourth guy, you probably not having a good game.
Exactly what I had in my head, bro. Because I'm a defensive line coach. I'm like, hey, listen, bro, we're going to keep going at him. We found our one. You know what I mean? We found our one.
The goal is to make that coach go deep into his pocketbooks to see what he got. Because as an offensive line coach, at the lower levels, you don't you may not necessarily have that quality depth.
Yeah, right.
So that guy might be your one guy.
And that's it.
And I got into a situation like that, and I was like, man, I owe this quarterback's mom the bottle of whatever it is she drinks or whatever. Because I had a kid go down and this other kid went in and
that's how I said it all.
I'm gonna leave it at that.
So what do these three words mean to you, man? I'm pretty sure you heard it saying, because you in the world, this is your first true love. God, family, football.
In that order.
And everybody that loves football says it just like that. In that order. It can't be no other way.
It can't.
You can try it. You can try to put it in different orders.
Because you got to know who you are first.
Absolutely.
And by understanding that, that'll help you understand how to move.
Yeah.
Which it then shows you that no matter what happens on the field, at the end of the day, if you blessed enough, like that family that you create, that's who gonna have you.
Absolutely.
Like when the world shut down a couple years ago, we learned that
real quick.
So it's got to be in that order.
That's got to be in that order. Y'all heard that, athletes, student athletes, parents, and all that. In that order, you're gonna hear it throughout your whole career. God, family, football.
You gotta have some kind of faith that helps keep you grounded.
That's it.
If you don't, then you'll just kind of wander around figuring it out. And some of us are going through it now.
As an adults. There's a lot of adults running around trying to figure it out.
And that's why, the mental health has become kind of such a big deal with our generation anyway.
Yeah. Mental health, bro.
So yeah.
Man, I love this conversation, man. Just talking football, talking God, family, everything. So where you at? Where you coaching at now? Where'd you start at coaching once you got done playing and hung the cleats up? Your daughter was of age to remember stuff, and you became that family man. And where you start? OC at and all that.
All right. So I first started coaching when I was like 19 at Southeastern.
Okay. Southeastern
is where I graduated from.
Okay. Shout out to Southeastern.
I can't remember how many years I was there. I left there. Donshell English was the head coach at the time. During my time at Southeastern, I actually coached defensive line I think I did coach some offensive line, but I can't remember. And I was a JV defensive coordinator, so that was fun.
JV ball. Bring it back, make it strong again.
Yeah.
That's a different conversation. I'm sorry to cut you out, Coach. My man, go ahead.
It was fun, man. But anyway,
man.
I left there and I went to Finney.
Okay.
With my high school head coach, Anthony Elliott. The offensive line coach on varsity.
Okay.
And that's where I got my first varsity junior offensive coordinator job on JV.
Okay.
Left there. We went over to Renaissance. I didn't stay. It was kind of time for me to do my own thing, so I left there and I ended up at Warren Lincoln.
Okay.
I was at Lincoln, I think, like 4 years.
That's when I first met you. You was there.
Yeah, my first year and a half, I was just the offensive line coach. And then in the middle of the season, our offensive coordinator had a kid.
You know how that goes.
And he missed the game. And they like, well, somebody got to call the offense. It's like, oh, shit, son. But the good thing was, here's the good thing. My high school head coach told me, you know, if I want to go far, I need to be a student of the game.
Yep, there it is.
So I knew the numbers of the route tree.
There you go.
So I knew the numbers of the route tree, and I knew the order in which which receiver on which route. And so I'm like, I don't know. I just told the kids, like, look, we just gonna go out here. We're gonna balls to the wall, have fun.
Listen,
ain't no game like
play
the game
football.
plan.
That's what we about to do. Go play football.
All that, like
fancy, pretty stuff, motions, all that.
And we won.
That's it.
That was the crazy part. Was we won.
Oh, that they saw you was like our savior.
I was like, oh no. That's when I was like, okay, maybe I can do this.
That was that grace. That was that grace that God gave you that all those years.
Like, maybe you can, but I also think it was kind of a curse because I would mess with our offensive coordinator.
Here comes the pressure.
So, because my thing is always, I understand both.
Yeah.
I may not be, Mike Leach or nothing like that with the passing game, but I understand how different run plays go with
setups.
Different schemes or whatever. And so, I would just kind of ask questions, but I was being an asshole.
Yeah.
But it was really what he was doing. It wasn't bad, but we had athletes to change the formations,
right?
And that's kind of where we bumped heads. And so when I took over, that was the first thing that happened. Hey, we opening this thing up and we letting these horses run.
Let it fly, baby.
Because we had athletes, but we could not throw the ball to save our life.
Man.
And so
the run lanes was beautiful.
But the quarterback's like, I'm like, look, dog, I know you ain't gonna complete these, but we got to do it. So anyway, we end up winning that game, and that was the start of. Like I had a lot of fun doing it.
Yeah.
But like I said, like it was kind of overwhelming.
Yeah.
Because it was like, okay, now you got to do this. You got to do.
And you can't focus in on your position like you want to.
And that came later. So that was like 2015, 2016 is when I took the trip to Arizona. So that's when I wanted to come back and really like dive into the offensive line. And that's where it was like, I can't be an OC and do what I want to do. So going back from there, it was like, okay, now it's time to just go back to here and just focus on that. But doing that also helped me understand with those less responsibilities. Now it's easier to balance the other ones.
Yeah.
Like some guys can do it and they're great at it. Like I think now if I did it, I would be fine.
Yeah.
Because I understand the schemes better.
Yeah.
I understand the passing game better. But I still wouldn't want to some of the commitment that comes with all of that.
Yeah. Because look, those 1 or 2 plays that didn't get no yards.
Hey, listen, man.
One series we went 3 and out.
Those nights where mom and dad texting you like, hey. Was you really on this, man?
Man, listen, then it gets to the point when the dads are sending screenshots and videos from the Huddle account, man. Like, I see y'all was in a 31, but why is he, you know what I'm saying?
But you know what, though? Even though that was kind of, it helped me grow.
Yeah.
Because it was like, okay, you got to start having answers for parents.
You got to.
No, if you don't have answers, they're gonna come at
I
your
love
neck.
I love
and they're not gonna slow down.
They're not, man.
And they're not gonna slow down. And then they start recruiting other parents.
Oh man! So speaking, and that's the worst part when they have secret groups and all that. So So what do you do with those players that those parents that their kid, in their eyes, their kid is that guy. They're there. You know. They're Jedrick, you know, like that's that guy.
So
you know what I'm saying, but they're not that guy.
So what I've learned in this latter part of my career, especially with this day and age that we in,
yeah,
keep a trail of everything.
Paper trail is everything, especially in the work field. Young people.
Like you said, like we got Huddle. You know, if your team got access to Huddle, guess what? With our cell phones now, we can record right. We do inside run and record it right there.
Right there.
So now
it's uploaded right there.
So now if we got a problem, here go the film.
Hey mom, log in. Dad, log in.
Let me show you the
live right now.
But a lot of times though, that's not just enough. Like no, because some parents know football, but some still trying to learn. So you might have to show them the footwork. Like so, what I started doing is I look at the kids. Like, yeah, I see all the videos online where I can show it to them, but I look for the kids that's doing it right in the program and what's happening. Yeah. And now I can say, hey, here's the footwork that we should be doing. Everybody do the same footwork every day. Everybody do the same footwork the same way. Yeah. He can't master this footwork that I need him to master.
And we've been doing this since when?
Yeah. Or maybe it's one thing that I did was playbooks. Mm-hmm. You can put the playbook on Huddle, but I also would make the kids bring notebooks and write the play. Yeah. So now I know I gave it to you, and I know you saw it at least once.
Can I give them a little hint? You know, for those the middle schoolers that's going into high school that with Huddle, we can track the hours that you on Huddle. You know, we know what you're doing. So then there's that, and then walking through, because the other thing you got to realize, I had to realize too, which I already knew, but it just adding it in was everybody learns different. So you're gonna have that kid that comes to practice and he'll learn it by doing it, but then you have kids that'll, you know, you got to give them the playbook, or you know, you might have to take the extra time. But making sure that you can say, just like at work, it's like being at work now, like, hey, this is what we did, this is how we did it, this is how he's performing, so this is where he falls in line. Yeah. Progression.
Once you do that, it's like now we just really arguing about your emotions.
That's it.
And as a parent, I understand. But the worst thing you want is me trying to sell your kid, and I end up selling him to a situation he shouldn't even be in.
Exactly. Now, who's at fault at that?
Like college can be very overwhelming. College is very overwhelming for a lot of guys. Yeah. And so just trying to help them understand like what they're looking at as well. Yeah. Because you send them stuff too.
Yeah.
Hey, this is you think your son should be at Michigan, this is what they doing.
This is what they doing in Michigan. Here's the box they got out there, their offensive line, defensive line in. You know, they gotta be this height, this weight, this speed, this length, all that. And, you know, and this GPA. So, or my favorite one now is you just gotta listen. If you feel like your son can go to University of Miami, put him on the plane, go down to University of Miami football camp, because the kids that they gonna recruit is right there.
They gotta show up at some point.
They got to.
So go there, kick everybody's ass, and however the chips fall is how they gonna fall.
That's it.
We can stand here and argue. But my job is to make sure that each kid goes as far as they can go.
And that's it. That's our responsibility for legit. As mentors, as coaches, as big brothers, or however you want to put us in what category. That's our main mission.
And unfortunately, you know, we can't. I would love for every kid to go to a major school.
Of course, we all do.
Because some of the amenities at these schools are awesome.
Hey, you see, we coming, baby, with my Louis bag. That's why, you know what I'm saying?
Like
Colorado look beautiful.
You go to school and it's like, hey, we playing on Saturday. Hey, just pack your bag and walk away.
That's it.
And then all your stuff
it's already on the bus, already in your locker, hanging up.
Then you go to some schools and it's like, hey, you got to carry your own equipment.
Hey, here's your checklist. Here's your linen rope together. You got your belt. You got your pants. You got your socks.
But
mouthpieces, knee pad, like all that, bro.
No, this is like, hey, I want every kid to be great. I wish every kid could get that.
Absolutely.
But that's just not,
everything's not perfect.
The luck of the draw.
It's not.
Like I said, like now there's ways for us to kind of educate parents. And you still going to have some that's going to feel that, but a lot of them will probably be better served if we did a better job at actually explaining.
Absolutely. And I guarantee where you at now, I know I'm going to let you drop the name. Where you at now, you do just that. And to close this out, I want you to speak on where you at now and the kids that you got, from your seniors to, kids, name drop whoever want to name drop, talk about the schedule, talk about y'all got coming up, talk about us, whatever it is, it's got to be all linemen though. I don't care about the pretty boys and all that. It's just trench life, man. What them hogs looking like, man?
I'm at Orchard Lake St. Mary's now.
Okay.
And it's been a pretty good experience. Last year I came in during the playoffs. Everybody was seniors. I think it was one junior.
Yeah.
Right. But coming into this year, I don't have a senior. I think I only got one junior.
So them are your babies, right?
So
there.
Yep. So we're gonna be young.
Mm-hmm.
These guys do have some experience. They were able to get. They were brought up during the playoffs, and so they were able to get some playoff experience.
Nice.
In our first and second round, they got some work. Our third round,
it does a lot for your mental too. If you get as a young guy getting in those moments.
And so I kind of got a chance to see what I was working with then, but working with them has been pretty peaceful. Pretty intelligent group.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the most important traits to have as a lineman. And they just a bunch of kids that's having fun with life.
That's all you can ask for, man. Be a kid.
Now, their ability to pick up, retain, and disseminate information is very high. So
wow.
I don't know how that's going to translate just yet.
Wow, that's a great observation, though, Coach.
Yeah, because I throw stuff at kids to see what the speed is that they can learn. I don't go into it saying, man, they can't do this or they don't know. I just got to throw it at them. You got to first.
You got to.
So, and then going to Orchard Lake St. Mary's, the one thing that you realize immediately is the demand for excellence across the board.
Mm-hmm.
So they're hearing it in the classrooms. Like you go in the classrooms and on the boards, the teacher, got, hey, excellence above all, and you see all of this stuff everywhere. So they hearing it everywhere.
Yep.
So that helps. That also helps the demand that I have.
Yeah.
Because my mentality is, you want to go to college, I'm about to give you as much college as I could possibly give you.
Absolutely.
And if the goal is to try to get I remember how fast my practices went, going to practices, seeing how fast it go. Mm-hmm. So my goal is always to practice like that.
That tempo, yeah.
So here's the deal.
That muscle memory.
So here's the deal. You got 3 reps.
Yeah. That's it.
3 reps.
First rep, do what you do. Second rep, master that first one. Then the third one, polish it. Let's go.
And I stand there, give it to them 5 minutes, woo, 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 and then they just do it.
Yeah.
So that's made it very peaceful.
Yeah, because as a coach going back down to dummying it throws you off of your game plan. You like, bro, come on.
Well, the good thing is no matter who you are, I start you at the bottom.
Absolutely.
Because when I look at it, I look at it as bricks putting the building together.
Like Legos, for sure.
So I already understand where we going. Mm-hmm. So when we in practice, I just try to push as fast as we can. I don't typically go into practice like you got your EDDs and all of that. Mm-hmm. But it's going in like a time like right now, summertime, we trying to get prepared for the season. So I just gauge on a drill by drill basis.
Oh.
Okay, we took this, but too many knees flared.
Yeah.
So the next drill, we're gonna take this and we're gonna work on the knee flaring. Okay.
Just build up.
We took that flare out. That flare exposed something else. So now we can go there. We go there. Instead of going in and saying, "Hey, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this." Yeah. I want to get the double teams.
Yeah.
And we're going to get to double teams, but I got to make sure these things.
And you got a practice plan you have to go by because you got the schemes that you got to work with the offensive coordinator. Like, hey, I got to implement every drill that we got to do. Got to match the offensive coordinator with the run game and the pass game. So this particular drill that I'm doing, I'm not just doing to make you look goofy. I'm doing it for these proper steps you got to do. Yeah.
And also with that, like, it being a trainer helps me kind of understand the bodies a little bit better.
Yeah.
So when I'm switching this stuff, it's very specific.
Yeah.
And once the kids get into once they kind of got into the rhythm, they're like, oh, because I had a kid like, Coach, how do we do this? And I'm like, remember when we did that over there? He's like, yeah. I said, well, it is. He's like, oh.
Yeah, that's why you told me that.
So with these kids, I have to be very, very intentional with the drills that I'm doing because
they're that intelligent. You know, you can't BS them.
No, we don't have a lot of playing experience.
Okay.
As far as like, I got a kid, gonna be pretty good. He's still got 3 years.
What's his name, Coach?
Abram Marciel.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we name drop on our network. We got a name drop. We gotta give you. It's a platform for the kids get shine, man.
6'5", 320, and a happy kid.
Ooh, the silent.
A happy kid.
Just a big giant. Just a happy giant.
This is only the second year playing football.
Those are the best ones, man. I ain't gonna lie. I got a couple of them at the Falcons, bro. I see the excitement on your face, bro. I see the excitement on your face, boy.
So you can see, so he's going to be a big one. I think they all will, actually. Yeah. The whole group.
And I know you got a couple of my kids over there with you as well. Came from Falconda. Listen, man, Hall's going wild. The proof is in the pudding. I got examples for you. I remember when you first got the job, you didn't tell nobody. You told me, "Hey, bro, don't tell nobody." And I was already recruiting for you, and you finally got one of the kids, man. And he's gonna be a great asset to you. You know, I can't wait.
I got 2 of them.
Yeah, you do it. You have.
I got
Vince, and Darian.
Yep. I got them both. So,
hey, and Darian is a very intelligent kid.
I'm looking forward to seeing to watching them develop.
Yeah, too. And Vince, like, they're just watching them develop from the off season now, and you know how they moving and grooving. I love it. And, you got one of my kids now, Dion Pittman, man. When I first saw the kid, hey, look, Dion, man, that boy. I got another kid that I want to see. Hopefully, you work with him soon, man. He's over with the Motor City Jags. He's probably one of my favorite 10U linemen right now, man. Big J, man. I know Jay. He follows and watch the Up the Score podcast. We talked about him. I highlight him a little bit with the lineman challenge. You know, a little 10-year-old kid, man. But we definitely been a pleasure having a conversation with you, man. This ain't gonna be the last time. Definitely not. I'm gonna get you on. When you're one of your game weeks. You know, get one of the rival coaches. What's up?
The season.
Yeah.
I think this one's gonna be a pretty big one. This is the second year of our transition. So last year was the staff's first year together.
Being together. Ooh. Oh, so I know how that goes. Yeah.
So we spent a lot of time this off season, kind of getting a better understanding of each other, expectations of each other, And our schedule that was one of the main reasons I went.
Yeah. It's very competitive.
The competitiveness of the schedule.
Yeah.
Playing De La Salle, Catholic Central, Brother Rice. And then this year, we got another big one out of Ohio, Toledo Central Catholic. We got to go down there. So I'm really looking forward to that too.
And one thing I'm gonna add to what you were saying about your coaches, y'all first year, completing the season together and all that. Like the reflection of your team comes from the top. And if your leaders is bonding and they gelling, they out there practice, clowning, but it's on a serious note. The offense is going back and forth with the defense, and that vibe and that energy, it just translates back into the locker room where y'all back at brothers, So that's a good reflection of the team.
And we got some, especially speaking about the linemen, the leadership.
Yeah. The heartbeat of the team.
That was
linemen.
That was one of the biggest things for me going into this off season was not forcing anybody to lead, but kind of just giving them enough to see who would do it.
Yeah.
And it turns out that everybody,
I love it,
has it in them.
So if you don't know nothing, you know that in the trenches, you are the heartbeat of the team. You are a leader. You have a lot of responsibility. You got to be mentally strong. You know what I'm saying? Communicate your feelings with your brother next to you. You know what I'm saying? Communicate with your coaches. All that, man.
I think the young guys got to understand it's okay to. We on the field and we running the ball. We supposed to be running the ball between me and you. And a mishap happens. Okay, I might be the high head. You might be the cool one.
Yeah.
Right. We can come to the sideline, get off my chest what I need to get off, and then leave it alone.
Yeah.
Because now we need to have a conversation
about
how do we make sure that this
don't happen. Yeah.
I can't come to the sideline. Like I come to the sideline, you're like, you
can't.
But it's got to be this. Okay.
Yeah.
It's got to be this.
Yeah.
And
because if I don't do it and you don't do it, it's both of our fault.
and for you, it's like, listen to the message, but then it's like, hey, once this game is over, now we gotta, hey, my mans.
Hey.
Like I understand your frustration, but we not gonna do that.
Yeah.
We gotta find a better way to do that.
Find the common ground.
But in the game is not the time to.
Because we in war. We in war.
Don't talk to your good guy. Like hold on,
man. Hold on.
Listen to what he's saying first, so you can fix that and win the game. And then in the part, so it's gonna be a difference. If that mistake happens and you lose, we gonna fight in the parking lot.
Listen,
if
man.
that mistake happen and we squash it and we win, hey man, afterward we gonna talk about it.
We gonna talk about it. We gonna laugh.
It's gonna be a little bit different. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man.
And so both players have to understand that. You can get that off your chest, but just say it, let it go. Don't demean your teammate. Hey man, listen, when that happens, you gotta however that. But you can't demean your teammate and give them that space to get whatever they get off their chest. But you gotta also remember, you gotta allow that.
You gotta have that space,
Because this is the one position where if y'all can't get that communication, you're only as good as the guy that's next to you.
That's it, man.
Like it don't matter if you could have the potential to be a 5-star kid.
Yeah.
But if you can't get on the same
that film
page
that big out in the sky,
your stars might stop at 3.
Man.
You might get to that 4th one, and that difference could be that tackle you at guard. It could be that tackle that you keep belittling.
This simple gesture right here on film.
You know what I mean? So
communication.
Communication is key.
Yeah.
And keeping your head leveled.
Controlling your emotions, man.
Because it's so much chaos that happens once that whistle is snapped, and we have such a short window to respond to it.
Yeah.
So these mistakes are gonna happen faster than we see them. But let's go back and let's talk about what happened.
Let's do it.
And then we move on from there. And then after the game, we deal with everything else.
I love it, man. Hall's going wild in the building. Coach Keith in the building. Anything, you got camps coming up? Anything you're going to be, making an appearance there, 7-on-7's over with. So it's time to get nitty gritty. Got camps.
I still got training going on.
Okay.
We go every Saturday. I run separate sessions for youth and high school.
Okay.
So my high school session is for 8th graders.
Okay.
To rising seniors. That session goes every Saturday from 12 to 1:30.
Okay.
And then I have the youth after that. We start at 10 to, 5th graders to 7th graders.
Okay.
Is in that group. That group goes from 1:30 to 3.
Okay.
All my information can be found on my social media. You can find me at Hogs Gone Wild on Twitter, Instagram, and I got a Facebook page on there. The links for signing up for training and everything is on there, or you just shoot me a message.
And also, we'll have the QR code and everything for them to go straight to your IG or your Twitter or whatever.
Fancy around here, okay.
Listen, man, we just, as we say on the other show on the network, we just trying to up the score. That's it.
I dig it.
It's been real, my brother.
All right.
Trench Life Matters, man. We out, man.